Hi guys, welcome to Ricky PFC, and in this video I've scoured the internet looking for information on the latest J-League transfers so you don't have to. Let's get into the players. Okay guys, so the first person I've picked today is Yuki Kobayashi, an under 23, plays for Vissel Kobe. Don't mix him up with the other Yuki Kobayashi, who also plays for Vissel Kobe, although he is in this video later and I will tell you about his transfer move as well. Yuki Kobayashi is a centre-back and he is a beast. You can pick him up for £9.68 at limited or £101 at rare. But look at his scores playing for Vissel Kobe. Bear this in mind with all these greens here as well. Vissel Kobe did not have a very good season. Usually they are competing for the Champions League spots and they really struggled. They only just managed not to get relegated. So bear that in mind. Yuki Kobayashi, absolute beast. Brilliant scores, as you can see. Just really consistent. Great for thresholds. Great for rewards as well. Especially if he's keeping more clean sheets, which is something that Vissel Kobe actually struggled with in the J-League this season. Let's go over to his stats in more detail. So he's around 6 foot, 6'1", and his strengths most certainly are aerial duels. Let me show you. So he played 28 games. He played 32 games, and he started 28. He averaged 81 minutes per game, which is pretty high. He didn't score any goals, but what we are interested in more than anything is his passing and defending. 66.9 touches per game is high, and that is building up the AA scores. Accurate passing per game, 86%, 91% in his own half, and 75% in the opposition half. This is very, very good for your all-round scores, picking up the passes one by one. He kept 9 clean sheets in all those games, as you can see what I was talking about, Vissel Kobe not doing the best. Successful dribbles, 60%, which is high for a defender. Total duels won, 68. His aerial duels, he wins an average of 2.8 per game, 75%. That is really high, and it's clear why the club, as you can see right here, Celtic have gone in for him and secured his move from Vissel Kobe to Celtic, who are well known for picking up J-League players like in the past Real Hetate, Daizan Maeda and Kyogo Furuhashi. So he doesn't pick up that many cards for a centre-back as well. He had 1 red card and 3 yellow cards for this season. Very, very good player and a really good option at £8 for his limited. I'm buzzing personally because I own a Yuki Kobayashi that I won at a tier 2 when I very first started recording videos. Let's have a look at the next player, guys. Takuma Ominami. Now, Takuma Ominami plays for Kashiwa Reysol currently. He's a right midfielder, and you can pick him up for £5 for his limited or £86 for his rare. If we go to the all-time Ondi scores, you can see very, very good scores up here. Very capable, chipping in with decisive scores. That even wasn't a decisive. 58 all-round score there. So as you can see, he's got a very good all-round game as well. Again, he's quite tall, about 6 foot. In his total of 26 played, he started 25, 83 minutes per game, which is also very high. He scored 2 goals in that time. Ominami has secured a loan from Reysol to Kawasaki Frontale, one of the best J-League teams in the league. Now, what's really interesting about Ominami as well is he doesn't just play in midfield. He plays as a right mid, a right wing back as well. So he's got more chance of breaking into their starting lineup. If he does break into their starting lineup due to their dominance in the league, I personally believe that his price could go up. Again, not financial advice. I'm just doing this for education and fun. So please do your own research as well. He's another one. He's a beast. He scored 2 goals, and his accuracy per game in passing was 75%, 55.4 touches per game, and he also chipped in 2 assists in this season. Accuracy in his own half, 81%, and 66% in the opposition half. Very similar passing stats to Yuki Kobayashi. So the next player is Yosuke Ideguchi. Bit of an outfield choice. He currently plays for Celtic. He moved there about 11 months ago, and he's really struggled for game time through injury and just not breaking into the squad. He's a central right midfielder, and you can pick his limited up for £3.19 and his rare for £47. What's interesting about Ideguchi is he formerly played for Gamba Osaka, and if you look down here at his scores in the time in his J-League, they were very good. Decisive scores, very high, and good all-round scores. High 80s, 100s, even 60s and 70s. And overall, his mid-range scores for your thresholds are still very good. As you can see, here's all his DMPs for Celtic. He really struggled at his time at Celtic. But if you go down, right down, here you can see, playing for Gamba Osaka, look at the difference in his scores. This guy could be slept on, and it's being talked about a lot that he is going to be moving back to the J-League. So that's it for Ideguchi. Let's see what happens with him. On to the next player. Again, another Yuki Kobayashi of Vissel Kobe. Now, Yuki Kobayashi, he moved to Vissel Kobe and just had a short stint there, broke into the starting lineup, and at the end of the season started playing really well, chipping in with decisives. As you can see, his L5 is 63, and here he was chipping in with goals right at the end of the season. Now, he's usually a central midfielder, but Vissel Kobe started playing him as a striker along with Yuya Osako. This was really good. He did really well, as you can see. So let's go more detail into Yuki Kobayashi. So Yuki Kobayashi, central midfielder. He only played 9 games and he started 8 of those because it took him a while to break into the starting lineups, which is understandable. But as you can see, he managed 3 goals in that time with a scoring frequency of 198 minutes, which I think is really good. He also scored a free kick. He was taking spot kicks at the time once he'd broken into the squad due to Iniesta being out of the squad, and he did a really good job at doing it. He averages around 50 touches per game, and in that time, in those little amount of games that he played, big chances created were 3. Look at his passing accuracy as well, which is really interesting, especially if his move that he gets to this next team, if they utilise him as a forward, it will be really good. His accurate passes per game were 85%, own half 88%, opposition half 79%. That is really, really high. Successful dribbles were on the lower side, around 50%. He's not the fastest, he's just a good all-round kind of player in a central midfield, playmaker, and he's got a good shot on him. As you can see here, he's moving from Vissel Kobe to Consadole Sapporo, and I think that he will be a starting man for them, and I think he will do pretty well. And for that price of £6, I think that is a bargain and could be really good for someone on a lower budget. Let's move to the next player. Next player is Gen Shoji. £4.95 for his limited or £82 for his rare. Playing at that time for Gamba Osaka, he's a left or centre defender, and his L40 is 49, which is good. Look at his scores, very, very good. Just very green all the way through, not many stinking performances, and a lot of high greens. Really, really good player playing at the centre back. Let's go into more detail on Gen Shoji. He's 30 years old, so he's a bit on the older side, but still not old for that level of football. His strengths are ground duels and positioning. He played 25 and started 23 and averaged 84 minutes per game. He didn't score any goals, but he did chip in with 1 assist, and his average touches per game is 51, which is decent for a centre-back. Average per game in his passing was 81% and 91% in his own half, which shows you he's very composed and he's very good at passing and getting his team on the ball. He kept 8 clean sheets, and very, very good option in my opinion. Doesn't lose possession too often, and he also didn't get any cards, which is also very, very impressive for a centre-back. He's moving from Gamba Osaka to Kashima Antlers. If he can break into their starting lineup, he could be a great option for you guys at that price. Very cheap. Let's move on to the next player. Ryuji Izumi, 0.83 pence for his limited, £21 for his rare, and he is a right or central midfielder. Very, very cheap option, but as you can see, playing for Antlers, he played a lot of games, some sub appearances, but also a lot of starts, and he did put in some quite good scores, high greens, but a lot of 40s as well, which would indicate why his price is so low. If we go into more detail, he's 29 years old. He played 30 games, started 23, and his minutes per game averaged 69. He scored 1 goal in that time. He assisted 4 goals though. His touches are on the lower side at 37 on average per game, but his accurate passing is at 80 and 88 in his own half, 75% in the opposition half. So he's good at passing and playmaking, and he's been chipping in with decisives with the assists. I think he's a good option, and a team that's doing a lot of transfers I've noticed this season to make a push higher up the league is Nagoya Grampus. He's going from Antlers to Nagoya, and he could be someone that breaks into their starting lineup and does pretty well. In which case, his price of 83 pence is obviously going to inflate because that is ridiculously low. So a bit of a budget bonus option for you there, guys. Let's move on to the next player. Jordi Qua, I believe it's pronounced. He's Belgium. £1.68 for his limited, £58 for his rare, but his L40 is 46 and he's a right midfielder. As you can see, at Avispa Fukuoka, he's had mixed results, coming on as a sub in some games, but also chipping in with decisives. His all-round game isn't the best, but he's capable of doing decent decisives and usually averages about 10 to 12 points in his all-round game. Let's look in a bit more detail. He's 28 years old. He played 31 games but only started 23, and on the lower side he averaged 64 minutes per game. He scored 4 goals in that time though, and he assisted 4 goals as well, which is pretty good considering he's only averaging about 64 minutes. 1.5 key passes per game and 8 big chances created despite only having 33 touches per game on average, which means when he's getting hold of the ball, he's trying to make something happen. And I think if he gets a better season going, he could chip in with more decisives and his price could go up, and he could really be an asset to someone's team. He's going from Avispa Fukuoka and he's moving to Cerezo Osaka. Could be a great option for someone's team, guys, especially at the price of £1.68. Let's move on to the next one. Quite a long one, so I'm trying to get through these quick for you guys. Diego plays for Segan Tosu. He's a left or centre defender, and you can pick his limited up for £4.36 or his rare up for £95. If we look at his scores, very, very good scores when he is playing. Lots and lots of greens in the last year and beyond. As you can see here, got an assist there, and his all-round game is decent, but he also chips in with decent assists as well. Let's look at a bit more detail at Diego. His strengths are ball intercepting. He played 32 and started 30, with the highest we've seen yet averaging 85 minutes per game for Tosu. He scored 2 goals in that time. He also assisted 4 goals in that time, and his average touches per game is 67.9, which is quite high. He created 6 big chances in his time there, and he kept the high stat of 10 clean sheets in that time. Very, very good. He also took on 5 yellow cards, which is something you have to consider. He is moving from Segan Tosu to Kashiwa Reysol in the J-League. He could be really good for them. Could he be a starter? I don't know. He could have been brought in to replace Ominami. Let's see, guys, the next player. Kazunari Ichimi. He's a right or centre striker, and his scores aren't the best, don't get me wrong. Lots of 20s. He's been more of a sub out of anything, but he's cheap for a forward, and this was for Tokushima Vortis in J-League 2. What can I say? Let's go into his stats in more detail. 25 years old, so he has got a lot of game time left in him. He only started 10 games out of the 30 that he played, averaging 30 minutes per game. But he scored 2 goals in that time. So the strange one with Kazunari Ichimi is there isn't any data on SofaScores from his last season. So what we need to do is go to Flash Scores to get a better look. So on Flash Scores, we can see he's had a lot of sub appearances. He's treated more as a sub at Vortis. But in 25 appearances in J-League 2, he scored 7 goals. Which I think, you know, is pretty good considering he's not getting much game time. He is moving from Vortis to Kyoto Sanga this season, who are a J-League 1 team. And I think he could play a part in their campaign this season. So let's move on to the next player, Patrick. Patrick is 35 years old, playing for Gamba Osaka. He's a centre or left striker, so he's on the older side. £3.25 for his limited, or £40 for his rare. As you can see, he is capable of getting decisives, and he's basically a big target man. If we go into his stats in more detail, we can see 189 centimetres, so he's on the taller side, and out of the 28 games played, he started 20, averaging 67 minutes per game. In this time, he scored 5 goals, which is pretty good, and assisted 2, despite only having 28 on average touches per game, and big chances created were 3, which shows you people are getting the ball to him in the box and he's just trying to score, and he's got a good conversion rate with his chances. As you can see, successful dribbles, very low, but his aerial duels are at 60% winning ratio, which shows you people are just crossing the ball into Patrick, trying to get him on the ball to score goals, and that's it. He's not a playmaker. He's not going to come back and defend for you. That's pretty much what he's doing. He's moving from Gamba Osaka to Kyoto Sanga as well. A lot of players moving to Sanga. They are really doing a push with players this season to try and do better this season in J-League 1. Let's move to the next player. So this player is on the younger side and there isn't much data on him, but looking at some of the research I've been doing about J-League youngsters for a future video I'm going to do, Ronosuke Kabayama is someone who's talked about a lot in this sphere. So he is a left striker according to SORARE, but I've also seen things where he's played in midfield. As you can see, not much data on SORARE data for his game time. If we go in more detail down to here, you can see he's only played 7 games and averaged 12 minutes per game. So there's not too much I can tell you about him other than from what I've seen in the sphere, doing research for youngsters, he's well sought after and could be a good option for someone in the future for the under 21s team. He's only 19 years of age, £4, £29 could be a good punt for the future. He's moving from F Marinos to Segan Tosu. Now they could bring him through as a starter, in which case he could be a really valuable player for someone got at a real budget price. So I've put him in for you guys for his transfer news. Next player. This is a player I own personally, Takaki Shichi. £2 for his limited or £38 for his rare. I own a rare version of this that I won when I first started playing SORARE. As you can see, despite his low price, he's got good decisives and good green scores. He is a left back. It says left defender there, but he plays as a left back, left wing back for Avispa Fukuoka. And he was well relied on by them. Sometimes even played at left mid. As you can see, decisives, but all-round scores as well. He put in a 27 there. He's a good option to have. Out of the games played, 33, started 31, and he averaged 84 minutes per game. He didn't score any goals in this time, but he did chip in with 3 assists, and he has an average of 47 touches per game. He also created 3 big chances, and his crossing accuracy percentage is at 27%. He kept 8 clean sheets. His successful dribbles were at 38%, and his aerial duels were at 56%, which isn't bad for someone playing as a wing back, sometimes a left mid. His ground duels won were also 47%, and he doesn't concede many cards, as you can see here. He's quite a safe player in that regard. He's moving on a free from Fukuoka to Hiroshima, and I think he will probably be in their starting lineup because he was so sought after and relied upon in Fukuoka. I can only see him being a starter. I could be wrong though. I'm not a J-League expert. I'm just doing research and then relaying it to you guys. Last player on the list, another player that I own, Terahito Nakagawa. He's a left attacking midfielder, but he can also play on the right and as a striker. Last season, he played for Yokohama F Marinos, and he's 30 years of age. He is a beast, let me tell you. He's a really skillful, good goal scorer. Very good at chipping in with assists as well. As we can see here, look at all these greens. They went on an absolute tear. His price is £15 for his limited, £194 for his rare, which is quite cheap. I got lucky, picked him up before the start of the last J-League season in December, I believe, for about £7. But even at £15, I think that's a steal. And he's making a move to another team. Look at all these greens, man. Look at that. All decisives. Incredible. So if we go and look at his stats in more detail, we can see he played 31 but only started 15. This is because F Marinos, they have a lot of rotation in their squad. I mean, J-League in general rotate players quite a lot, but F Marinos did it a hell of a lot last season. And he only averaged 48 minutes per game, but despite this, he scored 7 goals and had a scoring frequency of an average of 210 minutes. Really, really good. He chipped in with 6 assists, despite only having an average of 25 touches per game. His accurate passing is at 80% per game, and in the opposition half, 73%. Successful dribbles on the lower side at 38%, as well with his duels at 47%. But he's basically getting on the ball and he's whipping it in the box for people to get on the end of and score goals. Really, really good option. He's moving from F Marinos to FC Tokyo this season, and I can see him getting more game time with FC Tokyo. Really can. I think he will be a great option for you guys at the price of £15 or $194 for his rare. So that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me. I tried to get through that as quick as I could because there was a lot of information there for you. I hope you're enjoying the content. If you are, please like and subscribe. It really helps me build my channel and get recommended more in the YouTube algorithm, which is always great. Thank you for all the support, guys, and I'll catch you next time.